Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich and this is Savage Supercars. So today's video I want to talk to you about a brand that probably doesn't get as much recognition as it should, in my opinion. All of my friends know I'm actually a huge advocate for the Lexus brand. I think they're very underrated, and I think that more and more people should give them a try as an alternative to some of the other brands. I've been fortunate. I've had quite a few different Lexuses to drive. I've run two CT200s H's for a couple of years. I did about 80,000 miles in between two cars, two CT200s, one luxury and one advance, for a previous company that I worked for, and they were just absolutely outstanding cars. The CT200 is probably a little bit too small for my job and for my family life, which is why I didn't get one this time. But apart from the size of the CT200, I couldn't fault it at all. I really couldn't. It was one of the most comfortablest cars I've ever had the fortune to own. I did a 6-hour drive up to Wigan in horrendous traffic, and it never missed a beat, no backache, so comfortable. The quality of the materials, the quality of the products that was made, the specification of the car, which is absolutely fantastic, absolutely amazing. I couldn't fault it. Yeah, you could criticise the CVT box occasionally, but for me, on motorway miles and day-to-day general driving, I couldn't fault it at all. It was absolutely fantastic. And I like the whole range of cars, if I'm honest with you. I had a couple of IS300s as courtesy cars for a week at a time, which were absolutely brilliant. I've had an NX, I've been out in an LC, and just, you can't fault the build quality of what they are for the value for money. And for me as well, I think the cherry on top of the cake is the customer service. Lexus customer service is absolutely flawless. Now, I've had a lot of company cars. As you know, I was a fleet manager for a company for a while, for about 7 years, and I've driven a lot of different company cars, different brands: Mercedes, BMW, Nissan, Toyota, Ford, and they've all got their little quirks. Some of them are better than others, and I'm not here to sort of like disillusion anybody by that. But Lexus, certainly my local dealership Lexus, their customer service was outstanding. I mean, it was another level. It really was. And in fact, they won an award. They won a JD Power Supply Award for customer excellence, and I'm not surprised. You know, nothing was too much trouble. My car was always immaculately clean when I picked it up. Even if it was a general service and they only had it for 2 hours, when I picked the car up, it was immaculately clean. There'd be a pack of mints and a bottle of water, Lexus branded mints and water, in the armrest for me. I got a video showing me the work they'd been carried out. They courtesy called me to let me know what was going on. It was always a courtesy car for me. I always need to have a courtesy car. It was never a problem. Just outstanding. There's a lot of manufacturers out there that could look at Lexus and learn a thing or two about customer service. I genuinely believe that. But if you look at the whole range of cars that Lexus do, there is a car for everybody there. So I had two CT200s, and although the size became an issue with my job, the car itself was faultless. I couldn't fault it at all. The IS300, I've driven them, and I've had a couple of guys that have had them on long-term lease cars. A good-looking car, fantastic quality. You know, if you start talking about the F-Sport, the F-Sport edition, the actual F-Sport model, just really, really good, well, all-round package. Obviously, they specialise in the hybrid technology, in the self-charging situation. So anything like the IS300H, the CT200H, the H stands for hybrid, obviously, for those that aren't aware. And so it gives you that opportunity to run battery and petrol, or around town in just battery. But it's not a plug-in; it's a self-charging hybrid system. It's a very clever hybrid system, and it was good. It was really good. A couple of times in North London, and I was getting really low on fuel, and I was able to flick it over to just battery to get me to the fuel station so I could fill up. So I couldn't fault it for that at all. It was a really good system. They do obviously have also the gems away from the day-to-day cars. So, like I say, the IS300H F-Sport would be a really good company car, a good choice against a 3 Series or a C-Class. And the build quality and spec is definitely there, but it doesn't have the brand awareness that you're driving a 3 Series or you're driving a C-Class Mercedes. But I would definitely have a 300H all day long in the F-Sport, model spec. Fantastic car. But like I say, they do have a few supercar hidden gems. You have the original ISF from the early 2000s, which was absolutely barnstorming car, crazy. You know, they had a company car spec, and then they put a massive engine in it, and it's got a huge following. There's a specific clientele that follow the ISF, and even now they're fetching 15 to 20 grand for a good one, and they're becoming quite old now. You did have the RCF, which I really liked. I think the press compared it to the M3, and it didn't quite hit all the numbers as the M3. But as an alternative, as a little bit of a quirky left field, and no less of a car, I don't believe. The RCF is a really, really good, amazing car, and very good second-hand buy now. The build quality is the same, the specifications the same, but they've got a really, really good, you know, V8 fast brake, you know, good brake horsepower, fast sports car engine, sounds good, and a little bit different from the norm, a little bit different from the M3s, the M4s, or the, you know, the C63s, that kind of thing. It's a different car, but I like it. I like the RCF. One car that really stood out to me was the GSF. Now, they don't sell the GSF in the UK anymore, it's been replaced by the ES, but the GSF in America sold in bucket load, didn't sell that well over here, because it was in the M5 category, and you know, that's a hard nut to crack. The BMW M5 is just, you know, is in a league of its own. You know, it's called the M5 category, that brand of car. You know, the E63, you know, you're up against tough cars, but the GSF was obscene. It was 5-litre V8. It was absolutely well over 500 brake horsepower. It was absolutely ridiculous. The spec on it was amazing. It was a little bit quirky, and it was a little bit different. It was so much fun to drive, so much fun to handle, sounded good, looked really, really good. And I think they were sort of like close to sort of £80,000 when they came out. And second hand, they're sort of like mid-30s now. So a really, really good buy, you know, sort of 2016, 2017 car for sort of mid-30s. It's a really, really good car to have. I'd have a GSF. If you can find them, over the weekend, I started looking on Auto Trader and eBay trying to find a few GSFs. I think there was 3 on Auto Trader, there wasn't any in the UK on eBay. You know, it's people that bought them or kept them. And there weren't as many sold in the UK, so you've got a little bit of exclusivity to them. But they're just a fantastic car, really real, a car that if you wanted to be a little bit left field, definitely one to look at. Don't dismiss it, guys, seriously. Go and test drive one if there's one for sale. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. The GSF is a serious car for the money, and I would consider it over an M5 as an alternative to M5 if I want something a bit different. And you know you're getting the build quality, and you're getting the specification, and then you get the service support as well. It's definitely one to look for. Obviously, if you talk about supercars, you've got to talk about the Lexus LFA, which even now is one of the most desirable supercars available. You know, there's not loads of them out there. More were sold in America than there were in the UK, but there were some sold in the UK. An amazing car, and they're still fetching sort of like £350,000 for a good LFA with low mileage if you can find one. And a real absolute supercar, well deserves the title, just an absolutely fantastic car. Now obviously when they stopped producing it, because it was a limited production, they brought out the LC range, the LC 500, which was petrol, and then the LC 500H, which was part petrol, part hybrid. Real big, I would say like an S-Class coupe competitor, really. That's the kind of level of car it was. I've been out in one and was really impressed by the comfort and the ability to just cruise when you wanted to cruise, and then if you wanted to put it over into sport and just really like loon around a little bit and have some fun, and it was just absolutely fantastic. So the LC is definitely a car. Again, second-hand prices, they're an absolute bargain at the moment, the LCs. And they are bringing out the convertible version. The LC convertible is going to be happening, is going to be over here, I believe, the summer of this year. Really good-looking car. And again, you've still got the build quality of Lexus and the customer care, the customer service, which, in my opinion, is second to none. So, for me, the LC market second-hand is definitely one to look at if you're in the market. But again, for something a little bit different, but definitely S-Class coupe level of car. Comfort, quality, power, without a shadow of a doubt, the LC is definitely up there. So the brand itself does have some gems. You know, I think people think of it as a, you know, if you've got an IS300 as a company car, you've got the UX now, the new small SUV, which is really, really nice, going up against the likes of the X2, the Q2, the Audi Q2, that kind of level of car. Really, really good car. You've got I've had a few NXs, they're very, very good car day to day. The RX, obviously the 7-seater SUV. You've got the ES now, which has replaced what was the GS, the ES, very good looking car. Looks like the IS's bigger brother. You've got the LS, we haven't spoken about the LS, the LS 460, and again the hybrid technology that came out for the LS level of car. In America, the LS is a real executive car. It's a high-end executive, you know, it's a class against the S-Class for executives in America, and Lexus is sold, it's a big brand in America. He's definitely in the top 5 of sold brands in the US. It really is. When I go out to the US, there's always a Lexus everywhere, you know, all about. And the LS, definitely, the 460 hybrid technology in that car, and the power and the comfort and the real executive car that it's based on, it's just absolutely outstanding. So the LS is a real brand leader as well. There's a new facelift model about 18 months ago on that. So I'm sure there's pockets of market that they're missing, but generally overall, you know, I mean, they're talking about trying to bring out a new facelift version of the CT this year, but it's been such a good seller in the guys that's out at the moment. I think the CT is definitely a good car second hand. Definitely a good, safe, comfortable, reliable, enjoyable to drive, well-spec'd car. And ultimately, you've got that backup and support of one of the best customer service dealerships out there. In sort of 2 years of ownership and probably another 18 months of different Lexuses through my fingers in different guises, I've never had one bad experience with a Lexus dealership. Not one, genuinely. So I think their strengths really are their customer support and their network. But guys, seriously, if you've not thought about a Lexus, it's definitely a brand that I would always put in. When people ring me up and say, Rich, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, you know, what would you consider? You know, they start off with the Nissans or the Kias, and they look at the BMWs and the Mercedes, all great brands, and I'll always throw the Lexus in the mix, you know, and I've never had anybody that's, you know, had a Lexus and gone, I wouldn't have another one. You know, their automatic boxes are very good. Their hybrid technologies is, you know, they started the self-charging technology, in my opinion, and got it really, really well done. They really did. So, you know, from my point of view, the Lexus brand is definitely a brand to look at. For something really unique, you've got the LFA. You know, you've got the LCs, if you're that level of car. Look for a second-hand RCF as an alternative to an M3, M4. Seriously, lots and lots of fun for, you know, not so much money. You've got more chance of getting one that hasn't had the arse ragged out of it. The build quality is there. I'd have an RCF all day. I would have an RC. And I would have an IS300H F Sport as my daily driver. I really would. I think they're an absolutely outstanding car. I just genuinely love them. And anybody you meet that's got a Lexus, they get it. It's a little bit different, guys. Don't get me wrong. I love Mercedes. I love BMW. You know, I love Audi. I love all of the mainstream brands. But I've never had a bad thing about a Lexus. And to drive, there's so much fun. I can't fault them. And as I say, I try and spend as much time in the States as I can. And you always see the Lexus brand out there. It's a huge brand in America. And definitely one to look for, guys. I literally had a friend of mine ring me the other day. He's looking to replace his Mini Clubman. He was looking at kind of the X2, the Q2, that kind of level of car, and I've recommended the UX, and he's gone and test driven it, and him and his wife absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved the UX, Lexus UX. They haven't made a decision yet, but all of a sudden now it's you know, there's a new car in the mix that they absolutely love to test drive. So, you know, give Lexus a go, guys. Have a look at it. No way of sponsoring this video, guys, I've got to tell you. It's just one of those things where, you know, I genuinely think that the Lexus brand is definitely a brand that people should look at. Don't dismiss it because it's not as popular as the mainstream ones, because I'm telling you, it's a really good brand. It's well thought out, well built, well specified, and has second to none service and quite customer control. So yeah, definitely look at the Lexus. Guys, I'm sorry the videos have been a little bit sporadic lately. Obviously with what's been going on with the COVID-19 situation, you know, we have lots of content available. We just can't get out there and drive it. We've got lots of cars that we want to test drive on the channel. Hopefully some Lexuses as well. I've been offered a lot of cars for the channel, which is really good. We're getting some really positive feedback. But at the moment, with the non-essential lockdown situation, I can't just go and test drive a car. I'm driving today for an essential job. I've been to work today. I'm driving home now, so it's essential travel. But day to day, going to test drive a Z4 or a Fiesta ST200 or whatever is not essential, so we can't do it at the moment. But we will. When this has calmed down and the lockdown's been relaxed a little bit, there's a lot more content to come. So listen, thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for subscribing. DM us on Instagram. Put the comments on YouTube. We're always here, guys. If there's something you think we should be test driving, somebody recommended a specific vehicle that a little bit left field. We've contacted the owner, and he's going to let us test drive his vehicle once the lockdown's lifted. So it definitely works, guys. We're here to talk. We're here to communicate. Let us know what you want to see in the next lot of videos once we can. We need your support, and we're a new channel. We've really got to get the subscribers up off the ground, and we'll get there this year. We've got a lot of good content coming. So thanks for the support, guys. Thanks for the love. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I say, it was just a video about a brand that I'm quite passionate about, and maybe something that people don't talk about as much as they maybe should. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for your support. Stay safe. Safe journey out there, and we'll see you soon. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.